Hello everyone and welcome back to another video from our channel Who Passed Today. In this video, we'll be highlighting American celebrities who have passed away today and in the last few days, along with other notable figures from around the world. Before we continue, we respectfully ask that you like this video to express your love and support. It has great meaning for us. Thank you. Peter D. Lax, a Hungarian-born American mathematician, passed away on May 16, 2025, at the age of 99 in Manhattan, New York. Renowned for his profound contributions to pure and applied mathematics, Lax's work spanned integrable systems, fluid dynamics, shock waves, solitonic physics, hyperbolic conservation laws, and mathematical computing. Born in Budapest, Hungary, Lax emigrated to the United States in 1941. He pursued his education at New York University, where he later earned his PhD under the mentorship of Kurt O. Friedrichs. During World War II, Lax contributed to the Manhattan Project at Los Alamos, New Mexico. Throughout his illustrious career, Lax received numerous accolades, including the National Medal of Science, 1986, the Wolf Prize, 1987, and the Abel Prize, 2005. He was also a member of esteemed institutions such as the National Academy of Sciences and the American Academy of Arts and Sciences. Lax's legacy endures through his significant theoretical advancements and the many students he mentored during his tenure at NYU's current Institute of Mathematical Sciences. Marianne Bernadotte, her forcefulness, imagination, initiative, endurance, and charm. These were the words used by longtime friend Carl Otto Verkelid to describe Marianne Bernadotte. And for all who knew her or admired her from afar, those qualities ring true. Marianne Bernadotte passed away peacefully in Stockholm at the age of 100. As Sweden's longest living royal family member, she leaves behind a remarkable legacy of art, philanthropy, and quiet strength. She began her life in Helsingborg with a passion for the stage, eventually studying at the Royal Dramatic Theatre School. Her early performances at Dramaten placed her alongside legends like Ingmar Bergman and Alf Sjöberg. On screen, she brought grace to beloved Swedish films like Kulagula and ETM. Yet for all her artistic accomplishments, Marianne's second chapter may be even more impactful. Her 1961 marriage to Sigurd Bernadotte, son of King Gustav I, Adolf, connected her to generations of European royalty. From that point, her focus turned to service and advocacy. She co-founded the Sigvard and Marianne Bernadotte Research Foundation for Children Eye Care, a cause that remained close to her heart for decades. Even after her husband's passing in 2002, she continued their joint mission supporting research in childhood vision, dyslexia, and physical disabilities. Marianne's pursuit of knowledge never stopped. Earning a university degree in art history in her late 50s, she served with elegance at Nordiska Company, later representing Saab's worldwide. She was honored not only for her royal ties, but for her commitment to the arts and medical research. At her 100th birthday, she was celebrated not just as a princess or actress, but as a woman whose grace and determination inspired people across generations. She is survived by her 3 children and the many foundations and projects that still carry her name. As tributes continue to pour in, her legacy is clear in the children given hope, the artists encouraged, and the world she bridged with intelligence and warmth. Tributes to Marianne Bernadotte. Gerard Soterman, he knew how to smuggle truth into drama, said director Paul Verhoeven, reflecting on decades of collaboration with Gerard Soterman. Every script invited reflection. Remembered as the soul of Dutch screenwriting, Gerard Soterman passed away peacefully at the age of 88. Known for crafting stories that entertained, challenged, and moved audiences, his words helped define generations of Dutch cinema. From his early work on the television series Flores to the Oscar-winning adapted screenplay of The Assault, Soterman's influence spanned borders and genres. His partnership with Paul Verhoeven produced some of the nation's most iconic films. Turkish Delight, Soldier of Orange, and Black Book are just a few titles that bear his unmistakable signature. A gifted storyteller, he wrote not only powerful screenplays, but also scripted over 60 documentaries and contributed to comic books and television dramas. His work often addressed injustice and history with boldness and grace. Through the emotional weight of his narratives, he drove conversations well beyond the screen. His one directorial work, Debunker, told the story of wartime resistance with courage and clarity. But even off-screen, Gerard made a lasting difference. Some of his documentaries inspired real acts of charity and awareness. He once said his stories were like croquettes with hidden fishhooks, easily digested, but with something sharp beneath the surface. Colleagues admired his intellect, his empathy, and his ability to find meaning in conflict. His storytelling earned him the Guyan Calf for film culture, and earlier the Edmund Hustings Prize, recognition for a career that shaped modern Dutch cinema. Gerard passed away from natural causes surrounded by the family whose names remain private. The details of his memorial have yet to be shared. Though he's no longer with us, his characters, his dialogues, and his vision live on. His screenplays remain timeless, still studied, still watched, still felt. In the words of a colleague, you couldn't watch a Gerard Suderman film and leave untouched. Tributes to Gerard Sudman. Federica Ranchi, a true actress, leaves behind a voice that continues to speak through silence. These words, once shared by an Italian film critic, ring especially true as we remember Federica Ranchi. She passed away peacefully at 86. Though the world has lost her gentle presence, her spirit lives on in the remarkable character she brought to life. Federica Ranchi captivated audiences in a time when Italian cinema was redefining itself. Rising to fame with The Wide Blue Road and Estate Venta, she shaped the landscape of post-war European film. Whether portraying wounded hearts or quiet heroines, her performances always felt deeply human. Discovered as a teenager through a ballet photo in Trieste, her journey began almost by chance. But it didn't take long before the industry saw there was nothing accidental about her talent. She went on to work with some of Italian cinema's most visionary directors, including Gillo Pontorvo and Valerio Zerini. Her work in films like Devil's Cavaliers and Women of Devil's Island blended grace with emotional complexity. She gave voice to women written between the margins, gentle, thoughtful, aching to be heard. Off-screen, she carried the same humility and kindness that made her on-screen presence so enduring. At just 24, when many artists chased the height of fame, Federica chose love and life away from the spotlight. She turned down a major contract with Dino De Laurentiis to begin a quiet new chapter with her husband, a Greek ship owner. It was a personal decision that defined her as much as any role. She later became a cherished grandmother to actress and fitness model Flavia Scuo, inspiring yet another generation in the arts. To many younger performers, her story is proof that great talent speaks softly and still moves mountains. Director Claudio Marchese once said, "Federica brought silence into a scene like it was written dialogue. She let you feel everything without saying a word." Her passing has left a space in Italian cinema that cannot be filled. But her legacy remains in her films, in the memories of her fans, and in the hearts of those she inspired. Tributes to Federica Ranchi. Legendary filmmaker Robert Benton, winner of 3 Academy Awards, has died at 92. He directed the acclaimed Kramer vs. Kramer, Places in the Heart, and Nobody's Fool, and co-wrote the groundbreaking Bonnie and Clyde. Starting out as an art director at Esquire, Benton transitioned into film, earning Oscars for both writing and directing. His movies brought out award-winning performances from stars like Dustin Hoffman, Meyer Stray, Sally Field, and Paul Newman. Known for deeply emotional, character-driven stories, Benton shaped Hollywood storytelling for decades. His impact remains unforgettable. Jan Terlouw, the Dutch physicist, politician and beloved author, has died at the age of 93. He was a towering figure in Dutch public life, known for his rare combination of scientific expertise, political leadership, and literary achievement. Born on the 15th of November 1931, Terlouw studied mathematics and physics at Utrecht University, where he earned his doctorate in 1964. He worked as a nuclear physicist in the Netherlands and abroad, including at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, and the Royal Institute of Technology, KTH, in Stockholm. In 1971, he entered Dutch politics as a member of parliament for Democrats, 66, D66. Just 2 years later, he became party leader and parliamentary group chairman. He served as Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Economic Affairs in the short-lived Van Agt II cabinet from 1981 to 1982. Later in his career, Terlouw served as Queen's Commissioner in Gelderland and held a seat in the Dutch Senate. Beyond politics, Terlouw gained enduring popularity as a writer, particularly for his children's books. His 1972 novel, Winter in Wartime, set during the Nazi occupation of the Netherlands, became a modern classic and was adapted into a feature film. His fiction often reflected the ideals he championed in public life: civic duty, environmental stewardship, and social justice. Oscar-winning makeup legend Greg Kinnear has died at 73. Known for transforming actors in films like Mrs. Doubtfire, Vice, Dracula, and The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, Kinnear was a master of prosthetics and special effects. Over his career, he earned 6 Oscar nominations and won 4, along with a Technical Achievement Award for silicone innovations in makeup. He also worked on iconic projects like Titanic, The Mask, and Michael Jackson's Thriller. Remembered as a true artist in Hollywood, Kinnear's groundbreaking work continues to inspire across generations. Jane Bright, a contestant from the 21st season of the CBS reality competition series set in Nicaragua, has died, her daughter Ashley Hammett confirmed on social media. She was 71. Ashley wrote in a May 15th Facebook post, "Today, Jane Hammett Bright was found passed away within her home by a good friend and county sheriff. No cause of death was given. Jane placed 6th during her tenure on Survivor Nicaragua. She became a fan favorite and even earned the audience-voted Sprint Fan Favorite Award, which came with a $100,000 prize, even though she didn't win the title of sole survivor or the $1 million reward for the 2010 season. Her season 21 Espada tribe mate, Nyanka Mixon, was among the many Survivor alumni who posted touching condolences to Jane after the devastating news of her sudden death. According to a screenshot posted on X, previously Twitter, she commented on her Instagram story on May 15th. "People don't understand that although Survivor is a game, you make lifelong connections on the island and you get to really know your castmates. Losing 2 castmates make things a little too real right now. Espada for life." Fellow Survivor alum Donathan Hurley, who competed on season 36 of the series, also expressed his condolences. "One of my favorite Survivor family members, as I call them all, has passed away," he wrote in a post to X. "I loved Jane so much. This lady was a firecracker, always ready to have a good time and a good laugh. R.I.P. Jane." And Traitors star Sandra Diaz Twine, who was the first ever Survivor contestant to win the series twice, shared a similar sentiment. "One of our favorite survivors," she wrote in an Instagram post alongside a picture with Jane, "always had a smile on her face. We're gonna miss you." In a second Instagram post, Sandra wrote, "Rest in heavenly peace, Joe Don Baker, the rugged Texas actor who brought unforgettable characters to life, from fearless lawmen to menacing villains." Born in Groesbeck, Texas, Joe Don's journey from a small-town linebacker to Hollywood star was anything but ordinary. After serving in the Army and training at the Actors Studio in New York, Baker broke through with his intense, no-nonsense performance in Walking Tall, 1973. a film that struck a chord with a nation seeking justice. He then made headlines as the antagonist Brad Whitaker in The Living Daylights and as CIA agent Jack Wade in James Bond films Golden Eyes and Tomorrow Never Dies. With songs like The Natural, Cape Fear, and Mud, Joe Don established a reputation for strength, sincerity, and fearless storytelling over the years. He commanded every scene with quiet power, whether he was portraying a sheriff or a mafia enforcer. Joe Don Baker died on May 7, 2025, at the age of 89. Mission Hills, California, will host his funeral. As tributes pour in, we remember not just the actor, but the man who inspired generations with courage, conviction, and that unforgettable stare. Rest in peace, Joe Don. Your legacy will always walk. Terry Brunk, known to generations of wrestling fans as Sabu, died on May 11, 2025 at his home in Las Vegas. He was 60. His longtime manager and close friend, Bill Alonso, shared the news, writing simply, "I am heartbroken. Rest in peace, my brother." No official cause of death was released, though friends noted that he had struggled with persistent health issues. His passing marks the end of an era in professional wrestling, one marked by resilience, risk-taking, and a fierce commitment to telling a story with every match. Sabu rose to national prominence in the 1990s through Extreme Championship Wrestling, ECW, a program known for its raw, no-rules style. While the mainstream wrestling world focused on bright lights and scripted drama, Sabu chose a different path, a path of pain. He became a pioneer of hardcore wrestling, pushing his body through tables, chairs, ladders, and even barbed wire to captivate fans not just with shock, but with meaning. As he explained in a 2024 interview, even a table can tell a story if you build it. Trained by his uncle Ed Farhat, known to fans as the Sheik, Sabu began his journey far from the spotlight. He spent months preparing for the ring before he was allowed to train inside it. That early discipline shaped everything he did. To him, the ring was sacred. His style was chaotic but never careless, and behind every brutal match was a man with a deep respect for the craft. His WWE career, including a performance at WrestleMania 23, introduced him to a wider audience, but he remained true to his ECW roots until the very end. Just weeks before his death, he stepped into the ring for the last time in what was billed as his final match alongside Joey Janela. The match was a farewell not just to the fans, but to his entire life inside the ropes. That Sabu devoted his body and soul to professional wrestling was not a metaphor. It was a truth that every fan who watched him bleed, fly, and crawl through pain could feel. Since the announcement of his passing, tributes have poured in. Joey Janela said, "A lot of us wouldn't be here without Sabu." Tommy Dreamer called him a truly unique person. How do you remember Sabu? Was it a table-breaking moment, a defiant look, or the quiet ferocity he brought to every fight? Share your memories with us. Let's celebrate a man who turned his pain into poetry and never asked for anything in return. Milena Brandon, a Brazilian child actress known for her role in the Netflix series, died on May 2nd, 2025 in São Paulo. She was 11 years old. The news was confirmed by her mother, Ta Brando, in an emotional Instagram post the following day. Mina had been hospitalized just days earlier after experiencing a sudden and unexplained illness. Despite medical intervention, she suffered 13 cardiac arrests over the course of several days before doctors declared her brain dead. According to her family, Milena's health began to deteriorate on April 24th when she started experiencing persistent headaches, leg pain, and fatigue. A doctor initially dismissed her symptoms as dengue fever and sent her home with basic medication without conducting further tests. Over the following days, her condition worsened to the point where she could no longer walk. She was taken back to the hospital on April 26th, but was again discharged. 2 days later, she collapsed at home. Her parents rushed her to the emergency room where she lost consciousness and suffered her first cardiac arrest. She screamed and grabbed her head in pain, Face told Brazilian news outlet G1. A CT scan later revealed a 5-centimeter mass in her brain. However, with no neurologist available to evaluate her condition, it remained unclear whether it was a tumor, cyst, or clot. During her time in intensive care, Melina experienced multiple cardiac and respiratory arrests daily. There was one day she had 7 respiratory arrests. Fa said sometimes they massaged her heart. Other times they used defibrillators. Eventually, the family was told that Melina had no brain activity. I said that if we let her little heart stop on its own, we would suffer more, and so would she. Fa shared the family made the painful decision to remove her from life support. Melina was remembered for her joyful spirit and her love of performance. In addition to acting, she modeled and was active on social media, where she shared her bright personality with fans. Her work on Santonia made her a familiar face to many young viewers, and tributes have poured in from across Brazil in the days since her passing. Her parents described her as the light of our lives, and her mother wrote, "I'll love you forever, and you'll always be in my heart." South African rugby is in mourning after the sudden passing of Cornel Hendricks, who died of a heart attack on Wednesday. He was just 37 years old. Cornel, who made his Springboks Test debut against Wales in 2014, is well known as a talented winger. With his lightning-fast speed and unwavering dedication, he went on to win 12 caps for his country. However, a significant cardiac disease that he was diagnosed with in 2015 forced him to retire early, ending his promising career. Numerous people believed his narrative was over, but Cornel disproved their assumptions. After getting a second medical opinion, he made a spectacular comeback with the Bulls in 2019, winning over supporters and leaving a lasting impression on the world. He was voted Curry Cup Player of the Year, helped the Bulls go to major tournament finals, and won back-to-back Curry Cup titles in 2020 and 2021. South Africa has been inundated with tributes. Mark Alexander, the president of SA Rugby, recalled Cornel as someone who inspired everyone around him with his enthusiasm and zest for life. Coach Jake White complimented his amazing return to the game he loved and described him as a truly good man. Today we remember Cornel Hendricks not just as a rugby star, but as a symbol of resilience, heart, and unwavering spirit. Rest in peace, Cornel. The field may be silent, but your legacy roar. Samuel French, the Texas-born actor known for his role as undercover FBI agent C.J. Robinson in Killers of the Flower Moon, has died in Waco at age 45 after battling cancer. Born in 1980, he grew up in Clifton, Texas, where his passion for performance took root. He later moved to Austin and Dallas, landing early roles in Texas Rising and Fear the Walking Dead, and appearing in films like Pegasus Pony with a Broken Wing and Blood-Dried Hands. His final role will be in Towpath, a crime thriller written and directed by Paul Senor. As Detective Bernard Crook, French delivered a powerful performance that shaped the tone of the entire film. Senor praised his commitment and intensity, calling him a creative force who left everything on the screen. He also shared that Samuel deeply loved his daughter and often spoke of her with pride. French's legacy lives through the roles he brought to life, the passion he carried into every project, and the hearts he touched along the way. Valeria Marquez. On Tuesday, Valeria Marquez, a well-known 23-year-old TikToker, was shot and died while live streaming from her Mexican beauty salon. Around 6:30 p.m., the Jalisco State Attorney General's office reports that it occurred. Authorities said a man shot her dead when he came at Blossom the Beauty Lounge on a motorcycle. After allegedly being shot in the head and chest, Marcus, who has almost 200,000 TikTok followers, slumped on camera, according to the video. Shortly after, a woman in the salon is seen grabbing her phone and cutting the feed. Who that woman was is unknown. At the scene, Marquez was declared deceased. According to investigators, the culprit escaped and is still at large. Under the FEMA protocol, which is triggered when a woman is thought to have been killed in a gender-related crime, the Attorney General's office is looking into the matter. No other information was made public. The inquiry is still under progress. Lar Park Lincoln, known for her roles in Knots Landing and Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood, has passed away at 63. Her acting school, Actors Audition Studios, confirmed the news. Lincoln played Linda Fairgate for 5 years on Knots Landing and also appeared as a recurring mystery character known as Sally's Friend. Her breakout screen role came in Children of the Night, acting alongside Kathleen Quinlan and Mario Van Peebles. Throughout her career, she took on memorable roles in Heart of the City, Hunter, House 2, Highway to Heaven, and more. Her most iconic horror role was as Tina Shepard, a telekinetic teen in Friday the 13th, Part 7. She continued in the genre with appearances in Freddy's Nightmares and later made guest appearances on Murder, She Wrote and Beverly Hills 90210. In her later years, Lincoln took on roles in indie projects like Autumn Road and Sky Sharks, with her final performance in Ghost Party 2022. Beyond acting, she built a business coaching aspiring performers through her studio, authored a guidebook for new actors, and became a longtime QVC guest with her fashion line. She leaves behind 2 children, 4 grandchildren, and a lasting legacy on screen and off. Robert Benton, the legendary director and screenwriter who won 3 Academy Awards, has passed away at 92. Known for his deeply human stories and powerful performances, Benton directed Kramer vs. Kramer, Places in the Heart, and Nobody's Fool, and co-wrote the iconic Bonnie and Clyde. He passed Sunday in Manhattan, as confirmed by his longtime assistant and manager. Starting as an art director at Esquire, Benton's creative path led him to partner with David Newman, with whom he launched a groundbreaking screenwriting career. After co-writing Bonnie and Clyde, Benton began directing with Bad Company. His big breakthrough came with Kramer vs. Kramer in 1979, winning him Oscars for both directing and writing. Benton went on to shape performances that earned Oscars for stars like Meryl Streep, Sally Field, and Dustin Hoffman. His later work included Twilight, The Human Stain, and The Ice Harvest, cementing his legacy as a thoughtful actor-focused filmmaker. Born in Waxahachie, Texas, Benton left behind a career that changed American cinema and inspired generations. Wink Martindale, one of the most iconic game show hosts in American television history, has died at 91. With a career that spanned over 7 decades, Martindale became a household name as the host of Tic-Tac-Dough, Gambit, and High Rollers, captivating millions with his charm, voice, and presence. The news of his passing was confirmed through his official Facebook page, which praised him as amazing, funny, and talented. Truly a legend. Martindale's broadcasting journey began at just 17 as a radio DJ in Memphis, where he witnessed music history firsthand. In 1954, after hearing Elvis Presley's debut song on the radio, Martindale called Presley's mother, helping arrange one of Elvis's earliest interviews, a moment that played a key role in launching the future king of rock and roll. He also enjoyed success as a recording artist himself with his spoken word Single Deck of Cards, reaching number 7 on the Billboard Hot 100 and selling over 1 million copies. By the 1960s, Martindale had moved to Los Angeles and solidified his legacy as a beloved TV personality. From What's This Song to Headline Chasers and Trivial Pursuit, he hosted dozens of shows, becoming a familiar face in homes across America. His charisma, signature voice, and undeniable charm helped define the golden era of game shows. Wink Martindale leaves behind a legendary legacy that shaped entertainment for generations. Johnny Rodriguez, one of the first Hispanic stars in country music, has died at 73. Known for hits like Riding My Thumb to Mexico and That's the Way Love Goes, Rodriguez made history with 6 #1 songs and over 20 top 10s on the Billboard country chart. His daughter shared that he passed peacefully, surrounded by loved ones, and remembered him as a talented artist and devoted family man. Born in Sabinal, Texas, Rodriguez's career took off after a Texas Ranger heard him sing while he was just 18. That moment led him to Nashville, where his 1972 debut singles launched him into stardom. By 1973, his first album hit #1, and his success continued through the 70s and 80s with Mercury and Epic Records. Rodriguez was honored by the Academy of Country Music and inducted into the Texas Country Music Hall of Fame. He continued recording and touring for decades, releasing Live from Texas in 2012. A true trailblazer, Johnny Rodriguez broke barriers and inspired countless artists, leaving behind a timeless legacy in country music. Jimmy Carter, the 39th President of the United States and Nobel Peace Prize winner, has died at the age of 100. He passed away at home in Plains, Georgia, just over a year after the loss of his wife, Rosalind. The Carter Center confirmed his passing, closing the chapter on a life defined by service, faith, and global impact. Carter became president in 1976 and later turned his focus to humanitarian efforts, becoming one of the most admired figures in American history. After leaving office, Carter remained active for decades. He and Rosalind helped build homes for families through Habitat for Humanity, promoted peace and health through the Carter Center, and worked on causes ranging from global disease prevention to fair elections. His post-P presidency was one of the most impactful ever seen, earning him worldwide respect. Even in his 90s, Carter continued helping others. He was known for his humility, strength, and daily commitment to making the world better. His long marriage, active life, and quiet leadership made him a symbol of dedication. Jimmy Carter leaves behind 4 children and a powerful legacy of hope, proving that a life of purpose can truly inspire generations. Country music legend Johnny Rodriguez has died at the age of 73. His daughter Aubrey confirmed the news, sharing that he passed peacefully on May 9th, surrounded by family. Rodriguez, one of the first Hispanic stars to break through in country music, leaves behind a powerful legacy of chart-topping hits and groundbreaking influence. Known for songs like Pass Me By, You Always Come Back to Hurting Me, and Riding My Thumb to Mexico. His voice and storytelling helped shape an era in Nashville. Born in Sabinal, Texas in 1951, Johnny's career began in a truly unexpected way. After being overheard singing while briefly jailed as a teen, he was given his first big break. By 21, he had moved to Nashville and signed with Mercury Records, quickly climbing the charts. In 1973, he was nominated for CMA Male Vocalist and Single Record of the Year. His debut album earned another nomination the following year for Album of the Year, cementing his place in country music history. In 2007, Rodriguez was inducted into the Texas Country Music Hall of Fame. More than just a musician, he was a loving father, husband, and friend to many. His daughter called him irreplaceable, remembering both his artistry and the warmth he brought into every room. Johnny Rodriguez's influence will continue to echo through the music he left behind and the doors he opened for future artists. Linda Lavin, Tony Award-winning Broadway star and beloved TV actress, has died at age 87. Her passing on December 29th was confirmed by her representative, who shared that she died unexpectedly from complications related to recently discovered lung cancer. Lavin was widely known for her role as Alice Hyatt on the hit sitcom Alice, and her career spanned decades across theater, film, and television. Just weeks before her passing, she was still actively filming and promoting new projects, including her latest role in Netflix's No Good Deed. Born in Portland, Maine in 1937, Lavin began her career on stage and rose to national fame through her work in musical theater and TV. She earned her first Tony nomination in 1969 and later one in 1987 for Broadway Bound. Lavin also became a powerful voice for women on television, portraying a widowed single mom on Alice from 1976 to 1985, a role that earned her 2 Golden Globes and helped shape conversations around independence, strength, and motherhood. Lavin continued acting well into her later years, appearing in hit shows like The Sopranos, The Good Wife, Bones, and Be Positive. She was praised not only for her talent, but for her warmth, humor, and dedication to storytelling. Married to artist Steve Bakunis since 2005, Lavin often credited their relationship with bringing joy and balance into her life. Her legacy lives on through her unforgettable performances and the inspiration she gave to generations of performers and audiences. Nathaniel Nate Pelletier, beloved member of the When Calls the Heart family, has died at the age of 53. He passed away suddenly on April 11th at his home in Langley, British Columbia. Known for his role as a taxi driver on the show and for his work behind the scenes in the transport department, Nate was a kind and joyful presence whose smile lit up every set he stepped on. His dedication, warmth, and generous spirit made him a favorite among cast and crew. Nate's greatest love was his daughter Merce, whom he proudly supported in every step of her journey. He was passionate about music, travel, and creating unforgettable moments with the people he loved. Whether he was gifting concert tickets or writing heartfelt poems in his signature handwriting, Nate found joy in giving. He was also known for his love of baking and for always having an open door to friends and family. Tributes from the When Calls the Heart team poured in. Actor Martin Cummins remembered Nate as a gentle soul and a true friend, while production manager Mike Magnuson described him as all heart, someone who brought energy, kindness, and positivity to every day on set. Nate Pelletier's presence will be deeply missed, but the love he gave and the lives he touched will never be forgotten. Olivia Hussey, the unforgettable star of Romeo and Juliet, 1968, has died at the age of 73. Her passing was confirmed in a heartfelt statement on her official Instagram, saying she died peacefully at home on December 27th. Surrounded by loved ones, Olivia became a global sensation at just 16 years old when she played Juliet in Franco Zeffirelli's acclaimed film, which brought Shakespeare's classic to life for a new generation. Her natural talent and emotional depth left an indelible mark on audiences worldwide. Born in Buenos Aires in 1951, Olivia moved to London as a child and began acting at age 13. After Romeo and Juliet, she continued building a career across film and television with standout roles in Jesus of Nazareth, Black Christmas, and Stephen King's It miniseries. She later portrayed Norman Bates's mother in Psycho 4, and appeared on shows like Boy Meets World. Though she stepped away from acting in 2016, her legacy remained strong through her work and the admiration of her fans. Beyond the screen, Olivia was known for her deep spirituality, love for animals, and devotion to her family. She raised 3 children, including actress India Ely, and shared her life with husband David Glenn Ely. Olivia battled cancer with strength and grace and reflected with pride on her journey. Her warmth, resilience, and kindness touched many. Olivia Hussey's legacy lives on through her iconic roles, her family, and the countless hearts she inspired. Terry Brunk Sabu, the legendary wrestler known for his hardcore style, has passed away at the age of 60. World Wrestling Entertainment confirmed the news with tributes pouring in from across the wrestling world. Sabu made history in the 1990s through Extreme Championship Wrestling, where his wild and fearless style jumping through tables and into barbed wire made him a standout performer and fan favorite. He was inspired by his uncle, the legendary Sheik, and became one of the most recognized names in extreme wrestling. Sabu later joined WWE during their ECW revival and even performed at WrestleMania 23 in front of over 80,000 fans. Throughout his career, he also wrestled for top organizations in Japan, Mexico, and across the U.S., building a legacy that reached around the globe. Even in 2024, Sabu was still competing in matches that pushed limits, proving his dedication to the ring. Wrestlers and fans everywhere are remembering him not just for the risks he took, but for the style and intensity he brought to every performance. His name lives on in every high-risk moment fans love today. William H. Luers, a seasoned U.S. diplomat and former ambassador to Czechoslovakia, passed away at 95. In the 1980s, Luers quietly played a critical role in protecting Václav Havel, the playwright who would later lead his country through a peaceful revolution. To shield Havel from imprisonment or worse, Luers invited major American cultural figures like John Updike, Kurt Vonnegut, and Katharine Graham to visit Prague. Their public praise made Havel too globally visible for the communist regime to silence. Luers used diplomacy and soft power to elevate Havel's status, not as a political figure, but as an artist and thinker. His plan worked. Havel stayed safe. The world took notice. And years later, he became the last president of Czechoslovakia and the first of the Czech Republic. Luers' subtle strategy highlighted how culture can influence change, even in the face of authoritarian control. After retiring from the Foreign Service in 1986, Luers led the Metropolitan Museum of Art, doubling its endowment and expanding its global presence. He later headed the United Nations Association and helped shape U.S. dialogue with Iran. Throughout his life, Luers championed diplomacy through intellect, culture, and connection, a legacy that outlives politics. Sir Tom Farmer, the visionary entrepreneur behind the global quick-fit chain, has died at age 84. Born in Leith, Edinburgh, he transformed the automotive industry with a bold new approach to customer service, staff training, and branding. From a single tire shop in 1971, he built Quick-Fit into the world's largest independent auto service network with over 2,000 locations across 18 countries. His innovative focus on customer trust and employee empowerment set a new standard in the garage business, one where service wasn't just expected, it was celebrated. In 1999, Sir Tom sold Quick-Fit to Ford for £1 billion. But his legacy extended far beyond business. For nearly 3 decades, he was a key figure in Scottish football, rescuing and guiding Hibernian FC, a club he loved and later passed on. A proud Scotsman and devout Catholic, his values shaped every decision, whether in boardrooms or community halls. Recognized with a knighthood in 1997 and honored by the Pope, he was as generous as he was successful, deeply committed to philanthropy and mentoring young entrepreneurs. Even after retiring, Sir Tom's impact continued to ripple across Scotland and beyond. His philosophy of treating people with dignity and serving others with humility remains a model for leadership. Stuart Frank, a beloved voice in Detroit's music scene, has died at 66. Known for blending soul, rock, and folk with heartfelt storytelling, he built a career rooted in authenticity, resilience, and community. Raised in Sageno and based in Huntington Woods, he considered Detroit his true musical home. His songs captured the spirit of the working class and the soul of the city, earning him multiple Detroit Music Awards and deep respect among peers and fans. Over the decades, Frank released 12 albums, opened for legends like Bob Seger and Eddie Money, and even recorded with Bruce Springsteen. But his influence went far beyond the stage. After surviving leukemia thanks to a bone marrow transplant from his sister, he founded a nonprofit to support others in need, especially patients from underrepresented communities. Despite suffering a stroke in 2019, he remained active in Detroit's music and charitable scene, inspiring many with his strength and message of hope. His legacy lives on through his music, his family, and the countless lives he touched with compassion, generosity, and unwavering courage. Country music legend Johnny Rodriguez has passed away at the age of 73, leaving behind a powerful legacy. His daughter, Ori Rodriguez, shared the news in a heartfelt message, saying he passed peacefully on May 9th, surrounded by family. Johnny was one of the first Hispanic stars in country music, breaking barriers and inspiring generations with his unique voice and style. Born in Sabinal, Texas, Johnny's rise to fame began when he was discovered singing as a teen. He soon moved to Nashville, signed with Mercury Records, and delivered hit after hit. His songs like Pass Me By, You Always Come Back to Hurting Me, and Riding My Thumb to Mexico climbed the charts, making him a household name. By 21, he was already a rising star, earning nominations for Male Vocalist of the Year and Album of the Year from the CMA. In 2007, Johnny was inducted into the Texas Country Music Hall of Fame, honoring his impact on the industry. His music blended heartfelt lyrics with a smooth sound that won over fans across the world. Beyond his career, Johnny was a devoted father and friend. His daughter called him an extraordinary talent who brought warmth and laughter to everyone around him. As fans remember Johnny Rodriguez, his music continues to inspire. His songs, his story, and his trailblazing career remain a lasting part of country music history. Greg Canham, special effects makeup legend. Greg Canham has passed away at the age of 74, leaving behind a legacy that transformed film forever. Known for his groundbreaking work in both horror and drama, Canham's career spanned decades with unforgettable creations that captivated audiences worldwide. His artistry defined films like The Lost Boys, The Exorcist III, Alien III, Hannibal, Mrs. Doubtfire, and Bram Stoker's Dracula, showcasing his unmatched ability to bring characters to life through makeup and prosthetics. Canham's incredible talent earned him 4 Academy Awards, including Oscars for Bram Stoker's Dracula, Mrs. Doubtfire, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, and Vice. He also received a Technical Achievement Award from the Academy, 2 Saturn Awards, and multiple honors from the Makeup and Hair Stylist Guild. His most recent work included co-designing the prosthetics for the eyes of Tammy Faye, proving his skills remained in demand even late into his career. In recent years, Greg faced significant health challenges, including nerve damage and a partial leg amputation. Despite these hardships, the film community rallied behind him, raising over $100,000 to support his care. Today, fans and industry professionals alike mourn the loss of a true pioneer whose artistry shaped generations of cinema. Greg Canham's work will continue to inspire, his legacy forever etched in film history. Kiwir Hijabi, known to millions as Zatar, has passed away at the age of 43, leaving a powerful legacy in German hip-hop and Kurdish culture. His death, confirmed on Wednesday, sent shockwaves through music communities across Germany and beyond. Authorities are investigating the circumstances with no signs of external violence reported as fans and fellow artists mourn the loss of a true pioneer. Born in Iran to Kurdish parents, Zatar's early life as a refugee shaped his voice and identity. Fleeing Saddam Hussein's regime, his family eventually settled in Germany, where he rose to become a cultural icon. His 2015 album Baba Aller Babas topped the German charts, solidifying his place in the industry. Over his career, Zatar released 6 studio albums with her in 2021, marking his latest work. Beyond his music, Zatar founded influential labels like Alice Odernick's Records, helping launch countless artists and shaping Germany's rap landscape. His life story inspired the 2022 film Rangold, directed by Fatih Akin, further cementing his impact. Today, fans remember Zatar not just for his music, but for his resilience, authenticity, and commitment to representing his heritage. His voice, influence, and story will continue to inspire for generations to come. Nathaniel Nate Pelletier, beloved actor and crew member on When Calls the Heart, has passed away at the age of 53. According to his obituary, Nate passed away suddenly on April 11th while at home in Langley, British Columbia, leaving behind a profound impact on everyone who knew him. Described as a kind-hearted father, friend, and colleague, his passing has created a big hole in the hearts of family, friends, and the show's community. Nate was best known for his recurring role as a taxi driver on When Calls the Heart and his work behind the scenes in the show's transportation department. His dedication and warmth earned him the admiration of both cast and crew. Co-star Martin Koemans honored him, reflecting on their many memories together. The Valley will not be the same without Nathaniel Pelletier. He was a gentle soul, and it was my honor to call him friend. Beyond his work, Nate's greatest love was his daughter Mercedes. He cherished gifting her concert tickets and travel adventures, always proud of her accomplishments. His obituary remembered his passion for cooking, poetry, and creating a welcoming home for all. Nate's legacy is one of kindness, generosity, and infectious smile that brightened every set and every room. He will be deeply missed by the When Calls the Heart family and all whose lives he touched. David H. Souter, retired Supreme Court Justice. David H. Souter, the ascetic bachelor and New Hampshire Republican who became a darling of liberals during his nearly 20 years on the bench, has died. He was 85. Souter died on Thursday at his home in New Hampshire, the court said in a statement Friday. John Roberts, the Chief Justice, said Souter, who retired from the court in 2009, brought uncommon wisdom and kindness to a lifetime of public service. Souter's retirement gave Barack Obama his first Supreme Court vacancy to fill. Obama chose Sonia Sotomayor, the court's first Latina justice. Souter was appointed by George H.W. Bush in 1990 and quickly dashed the expectations of the conservative right that had cheered his elevation. He was a reliably liberal vote on abortion, church-state relations, freedom of expression, and the accessibility of federal courts. Denise Alexander. Tributes have been pouring in following the death of General Hospital star Denise Alexander at the age of 85. The beloved soap icon was best known for playing Leslie Weber on the long-running TV series set in the fictional town of Port Charles, New York. She also earned critical acclaim for her role as Hunter Martin on Days of Our Lives. Alexander reportedly passed away on March 5th. Her cause of death is unknown. Tributes have been pouring in following the death of General Hospital star Denise Alexander at the age of 85. The beloved soap icon was best known for playing Leslie Weber on the long-running TV series set in the fictional town of Port Charles, New York. She also earned critical acclaim for her role as Hunter Martin on Days of Our Lives. Alexander reportedly passed away on March 5th. Her cause of death is unknown. Denise Alexander tributes have been pouring in following the death of General Hospital star Denise Alexander at the age of 85. Getty. The news was confirmed on Friday by General Hospital showrunner Frank Valentini, who paid tribute to her in a heartfelt post on X. "I am so very sorry to hear of Denise Alexander's passing," he wrote. "She broke barriers on screen and off, portraying Dr. Leslie Weber, one of the first female doctors on daytime television for nearly 5 decades. It meant so much to have her reprise her role in recent years, and I am honored to have had the opportunity to work with her. On behalf of the entire General Hospital family, I extend my heartfelt sympathies to her family, friends, and longtime fans. May she rest in peace." Jeff Sperbeck. Sperbeck died on April 30th from injuries sustained in the accident on April 26th in La Quinta, California. John Elway's longtime agent and friend Jeff Sperbeck died from accidental blunt head trauma, people can confirm. The Riverside County Coroner's Bureau determined Sperbeck's death was an accident and that the injury occurred when the passenger fell from the golf cart, the Riverside County Sheriff's Office told people on Friday, May 9th. The tragedy occurred when Sperbeck, 62, fell from a moving golf cart on Saturday, April 26th, in La Quinta, California. He was transported to a local hospital in critical condition, per a Riverside County Sheriff news release, before dying on Wednesday, April 30th, from head injuries sustained during the fall. Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco told the Denver Post on Friday, May 2nd, that law enforcement had found nothing that suggests any criminal activity occurred during the incident. "This appears to be a horrific accident," Bianco told the Post, noting that a couple of the people involved in the incident happened to be very high-profile celebrities. James Foley, a longtime Hollywood director who helmed 2 films in the 50 Shades of Grey trilogy, has died. The movie industry veteran passed away earlier this week after a battle with brain cancer, a rep confirms. Foley began directing in the middle of the 1980s with the feature film Reckless, before establishing himself as a music video director. Bringing songs like Live to Tell, Papa Don't Preach, True Blue, and many more to the television screen, he directed a number of Madonna music videos. Foley gained international recognition when he took David Mamet's critically acclaimed play Glengarry Glen Ross to the silver screen, directing Al Pacino, Alec Baldwin, Kevin Spacey, and Jack Lemmon in the movie. Pacino received an Oscar nod for his role in the film. In more recent years, Foley gained acclaim for directing the movies 50 Shades Free and 50 Shades Darker. He also has credits for Billions, House of Cards, Hannibal, Perfect Stranger, Fear, and Twin Peaks. According to IMDb, Foley was developing a series about Ronald Reagan and Mikhail Gorbachev prior to his death. Unclear what will happen to that series now. Foley was 71. Brazilian actress Marianne Bernadotte, a rising young star known for her role on Netflix's Centonia, passed away on May 2nd at just 11 years old. Her parents, Tha and Louise Bernadotte, shared that Marianne began feeling unwell on April 24th, experiencing a severe headache, leg pain, and other symptoms. She was diagnosed with D9 fever, but her condition worsened, and she had to return to the hospital twice more, once after fainting at home. Faze explained that Marianne started having 2 to 3 cardiac arrests per day with a total of 13 cardiac arrests. Doctors later told the family that Marianne's brain had stopped functioning. Her parents described her as the light in our lives and said her happiness touched everyone around you. Marianne's passing has left a deep impact on fans and those who followed her journey as they remember the bright young talent she was.